Today, I'm here to talk to you guys about term limits in Congress. All right, most Americans don't pay much attention to this. They always expect their elected officials are utilizing their time wisely. Most are under the impression that their elected officials are working as much as they are to run this country. One would think that Congress puts in at least 40 hours a week, right? Well, this would be wrong. According to the Library of Congress, it is estimated that Congress works fewer than 3 days a week, some around 18 hours a week, and they're still getting paid around $174,000 a year for this. And the main reason that I'll touch on here in a little bit is because of the re-election. This ramps up towards the end the last year where they really need to focus, and this usually becomes about 50% of their time. And even if they don't need money, if they're if they're Republican, if they're in a deep red state, that they really don't need fundraising. They know they're going to win. They still go out and fundraise for the party for other elections in other states and on a federal level. And it is estimated that House members they raise about $1.7 million in a year. This comes out to about $2,300 a day. Senators raise about $10.4 million a year. This comes out to about $14,000 every day. The House more so than the Senate because the representatives only have 2-year terms, whereas the Senate has 6-year terms. Both, might I add, be unlimited if the same person manages to keep getting reelected. This used to be the case with the presidency, but the 22nd Amendment that was passed and set a limit of 8 years. Congress obviously saw a problem with FDR having been elected 4 times, so wouldn't the same problems happen with unlimited terms in Congress? Absolutely. Everything they see, someone coming in, getting stale, getting comfortable, and not being able to get rid of them. But exactly, we got senators and in Congress that's been around 20, 30 years. But for the most part, an incumbent has a better chance of staying in office than the new candidate. The incumbent is more seasoned and mostly has experience in fundraising through their previous term and can be prepared to be reelected. This should not be the case. Congress has had some of their lowest approval ratings in our history the last 6 years, but most will be reelected. This is because the districts and the states like pointing the finger at other districts and states, so they tend to reelect their own official. This is also fueled by the seasoned incumbent being political and passing along the blame. I propose a new term limit of Congress. Anything would be better than what we have now. I would say about a 12-year limit on the Senate and an 8-year limit on Congress. This would help our country in many significant ways. The biggest would be that it would tremendously cut back on politicians worrying about staying in office. This will also transfer over to their work and productivity in Congress because when their time limit ends, their party replacement will be running on their predecessor's record. It's easy for an incumbent to win in re-election, but it's much harder for the member of the same party to replace the incumbent. This was true with Al Gore, George H. Bush, and Gerald Ford, and that's only touching in the last 30 years. Another advantage of term limits in Congress is that it keeps a fresh rotation of politicians that hopefully bring a current perspective of the country. Most politicians fall out of touch with society after years on the Hill. This is the case. They go in as a hard charger. They may overstate their goals and like what they're able to achieve. And when they get in there, they get complacent. They get, like comment earlier, stale. And it would be nice to get that new pump of energy and motivation every few years. Thirdly, term limits would help deter obstructionists of our government. This is what we've been seeing over the case with Barack Obama. Even before he got office, we had the Majority Leader Mitch McConnell saying basically they're going to block him, obstruct him, and just wait for their party to hopefully win the presidency, which they're not. And both parties are guilty about this. But with term limits, this wouldn't be wise to do because it would deter their own objectives that they only have limited time on to get done. This would hopefully cause them more need to compromise with the other side. This meaning that if I go in, and I'm being optimistic here, but if I go in with 8 years, I know I only have that. If I can't just sit idly by and cross my fingers and hope my party candidate wins the presidency, that I can actually get my agenda and fixed. No, I'm going to have to work with the current administration to compromise and hopefully get something done, something of progress. In closing, our founders put a no-term limit on both the legislative and executive branches. We found that it's best for the president to be limited 8 years, so why not extend that over to the legislative branch? This would be a nice crowbar we can use to get rid of this gridlock and obstructionism that has halted this country from being as great as we know it could be. Thank you.